Okay, and this one I'll just gonna name the tree of life or the tree of knowledge. I can't remember what the I think it was the tree of knowledge. But I mean, if you actually look back in the biblical, Bible and all that, and how Adam and Eve was the first humans, which that kind of like I'm sorry, that kind of story like has like a story of how I mean, no offense to any Christian out there, but the whole story about how the human race was came to be in your guys' book kind of has a weird taste in my mouth of incest. All right, like no disrespect, but that's just my opinion. But the tree of knowledge we'll go with. Because like back then, there was Adam and Eve, man and woman. That's it. Just two. All right, and and there's all these animals around, and they get to hang out with and just live a good life, naked, no sin, no nothing bad, no death. All right, and then you know, Eve came to you know come across the tree of knowledge and talk to the snake. And no offense, but just like in the modern day age, women were very easily manipulated to get to buy, something like take a bite of the apple. Very easily talked into things, and I think that was pretty much the first form of sin. Um, I don't really know what it would be called, but because she was tempted, it was the temptation. The first bite was temptation, um, in aspects, and then with that bite came to give birth to betrayal. All right, because he betrayed God, and then um, her bringing it to Adam and him biting it came to shun him from leadership because he was supposed to be the one leading her. All right. And so they were cast, from the Garden of Eden. And this is a little bit twisted with my view on the story and my alteration of the belief of the story. So don't take it completely. Take it with a little grain of salt. But they left. They wandered Earth. And I do believe that a little chunk of Eden was sealed off. And I believe the stories are about how an angel guards it, and anybody that comes near, the Garden of Eden, they're stricken down with, pain, suffering. Depending how close you are, will depend on how stricken you are. Um, but I believe the whole planet at one time was the Garden of Eden. I just think this one chunk of Eden, how Eden used to look, you know, but technically the whole planet was Eden. All right, that's how big Eden is. And I think that's what the planet Earth true name is, and as in biblical, language, you know, going off, the Bible and all that. I think Eden is known as the planet Earth. That's what we used to know. I think Earth as Eden. Um, but they left, and those were the first sins, and them running from God, hiding from Him. And I there was also a little bit of that story I heard about him in uh the Garden of Eden before He kicked them out. They ran and hid, and because of the shame, they had came to be a little hard to find them. Um, Came to act like animals, so they came to blend in, but He came to find them, and he was disappointed as any parent that tells you not to do anything, and he was cast out. And over time, that was that was the first of the sin, casting out, and then throughout time, I think, we came to give birth to the tree of knowledge gave birth to knowledge of all, life, death, destruction, creation, truth, lie, science, witchcraft, manipulation, narcissistic, disease, self-centered, all forms of the good and the bad that shapes up this world that we come to know as our reality. I think every aspect of the good and bad of this world came from that one bite. All right, and all this, and I think that's just my whole belief on the tree and everything. But I just one thing I always wondered is just why. Why did God have such a problem with Adam and Eve eating the fruit? I mean, the tree of knowledge. I mean, I understand they were told no. You had all this stuff. It was a beautiful life. Curiosity killed the cat, and the cat being, Lucifer, and you eating the apple, be curiosity. You were told no. All right, no. But I think that goes a little bit along with, kids when they come to grow up. It's like you can't tell them no forever. You can't always tell them, because I'm your parent, that's why. It only works for so long. All right. So, in a nutshell, it's like, why was God so much against Adam and Eve eating the fruit of the tree of life? Why was he so against them gaining the knowledge that, maybe, I don't know if it was the same level as God's, knowledge. Like maybe this tree it would give anybody that ate it, the knowledge of God, But in a nutshell, it kind of goes along with, no offense, but it goes kind of sounds a little bit like a pagan story, especially when you think about the Thor movie, Love and Thunder, and the gods that are in that TV series, and sitting there and eating fruit, and you get the Asian culture with the nectar of the gods, where they would all have a certain drink, someone drink sap from trees, and someone drink wine, and but it was their more elixir in a manner of speaking. So it's what was he against Adam and Eve to eat the fruit? Like, why was he against them? Why did he tell them not to? That's one thing I want to know. That's one of the questions I would want to ask him. you know, like, and did is the reason why all sin came to be the only reason? Was it only because he told you not to? And does that mean he technically caused sin because of our disobedience? So it technically wasn't eating the tree um, that caused it. It was more the fact that we ate it and he said not to. So he caused sin because of our disobedience. And why would he do that? Um, so I mean that's just one of my random questions right there, but it's also my belief on how the tree thing went, and it's also I mean, there's more stuff about Lucifer I have some questions about too, because it's why was I think was I think the war between them already happened, and I think he was cast down then. If he wasn't, then why was he in the tree trying to you know uh, persuade Adam and Eve? Because he didn't make them. He didn't make them do it. I mean, he just said pretty much exactly what I just said. Honestly, what was the problem with not eating it? Why did God not want you to eat this fruit? What is he so against? Not want you to eat this one fruit? He allows you to eat all these other, trees. I mean, who knows if they were, meat eaters? I mean, if they did they kill animals back then? I mean, that would technically be classified as murder, or would it? Because technically, Christianity believes that animals don't have souls. I think murder only classifies if you have a soul, so only because if you're human. That's why Cain and Abel, was Cain killing Abel was known as the first murder, I guess. Which I don't believe that either. But that's just my little random thoughts on, the tree of knowledge.